Hey, how we doing? Just Juicy here from Cricket Strength, bringing you a new seminar, the Cricket Strength Guide to Bowling Faster. Okay, so what we're going to do is just take you through the process we use on our players to get them bowling faster, to get them quicker, more injury resistant, and just feeling in a lot better place. So let's dive in. So who are we? We've got nearly 40 years experience in the professional game between us. We've been going a long time now. We've worked with hundreds of professional players across the years. We've been across 4 county cricket teams, or is it 5? 4 or 5. Steph's been at the Big Bash 2016-17 season, Hobart Hurricanes, working with Kumar Sangakkara, working with Sean Tate, Dan Christian, and did a great job. Stuart Broad over there, awesome. We've been running Cricket Strength for 4 years now, for nearly 4 years. And we've taken players actually into county cricket and for trials and different things. So our basic edict is to help you as much as we can with your bowling, with your fitness, with everything, to get you where you want to go. If it's in the professional game, we've got the skills to help you. Or if it's just being the best bowler you can be, again, just come with us and we'll do everything we can to help you. So it's just a couple of players we worked with, myself with Brett Lee there, Steph with Sean Tate. You know, we've got hundreds and hundreds of players we've worked with over the years, some big names, and it's been great. So how do we bowl faster? That's the key. Everyone wants to know, how do we bowl faster? Well, what we use is a multi-layer approach, okay? It's not one thing. We go through the stages, and it's important you do that. It's not about one magic pill. Everyone thinks, what's the best exercise to bowl quicker? What can I do to bowl quicker? Well, you need to go through the whole process. But we're going to show you the process right now, okay? And once you follow the process, results are brilliant. So you get the process right, the results are pretty simply phenomenal. The speed you put on, the athleticism you gain is absolutely brilliant. But never skip a stage, okay? Don't get caught with the sort of shiny object thinking of seeing a really good drill on Instagram or something like that, thinking I can do that. If the body's not right, there's no point in doing it. You won't get the gains, you won't bowl quicker. But it's all a process, like we talk about a lot. The first stage is assessment. We need to assess your posture, your movements, your bowling. Those 3 things are absolutely key. And we can't miss one of them. We can't just go and assess your bowling because we might be missing a huge thing about your posture and movements. No point just assessing the posture and getting that right, because that might not carry over to your bowling. It's not going to clear it up. So we need to look at all of them. We need to plan. Okay, planning so key. We use the overcoming dysfunction work with the program that's in our membership inner circle. We look to motor patterns. We need to get them right, and it's all about that foundation. We've got to key that foundation. Talk a lot about, if you're going to build a house, build it on cement. Don't build it on sand. You build it on sand, at some point that bad boy is going to crumble. And brother, we don't want that happening. We don't want you getting injured. We want you bowling quick with no injuries. Once we've got that foundation set, we fly into the general prep phase. Important we do this, but we don't have to do a lot of it, okay? Once you've reached a good level of strength, we don't have to kick the arse out of it. 2 or 3 years, and then we're set, okay? Then we can just revisit it from time to time, but we don't have to go over and over and over, spending 4 or 5 months every off-season just doing the prep. 4th phase, special strength phase, one of the key ones. This is Steph's bad boy, where a lot of the exercises he's bringing in are having massive carryovers for bowling and putting on serious pace on players. And that's where we're going to show you this whole process in this workshop. So first up, we've got assessing. Assessing is so key. We don't want to miss anything. So we do almost a 2-step process here. I like to look at posture and I like to look at movements. Posture, we're looking for things like any shoulder drops, hips up one side than the other. Is the back nice and straight? Excuse me. Are the knees looking forward? Hips neutral? Is he anteriorly tilted or posteriorly tilted at the pelvis? And are the feet good? Are they dropped or anything like that? And hopefully not. So if everything there is good, then we can look at other movements here. So there's just a few movements we look at. Overhead squat, down and up. Can he do it? Can you move well through the whole motion? And we look at lunges, Oh, keep going. So, really important lunges, obviously, how unilateral the bowling action is. We want to have a look. Does that knee collapse in? Can he control himself around the pelvis and trunk? Does he have to go an extension to keep neutral? Things like this. We absolutely hammer all of it. And we can keep looking, keep seeing, keep assessing. And they're very simple, easy to do. The overhead squat, the lunge. Then we go on to the next page. We've got the hip hinge. So we're looking at, can you control between the pelvis and the lumbar spine? He's got very good control there. Single leg, straight leg raise. Now this is a one for the whole sort of cross seam. So can your trunk almost feed between your lower body and your upper body to allow that leg to come up? Not a hamstring stretch at all. An absolute great assessment of your trunk, how well your trunk works. Upper body as well. Always looking at that. This is a big one for bowlers. Shoulder mobility. Can you touch one side? And if that's yes, can you touch the other side as well? That's what we want to know. Can you touch the other side? So there, he's got a bit of a discrepancy. That would be a red flag for us. That would be cause to go and investigate. Okay, what's stopping him do that? And what exercises have we got to make it happen so we can touch one side the same as the other? Straight leg raise, straight arm raise here, sorry. Again, a really important one. With bowlers, we need to know if that scapula is working well on the humeral head, whether we can control it both sides, whether we can get actually overhead easily without going to extension. We'll say it so many times, that lower back, we don't want going into extension. We need to keep that nice and set. If we don't, if we're using extension to gain overhead patterning, then we're going to be in trouble. So what happens when we do that and assess? We give you a dysfunction program, and then you come back. Hopefully, you have results like this. In the top left here, you've got Guido. If you look on the first picture, his spine is literally in a small S shape there, and that is cause for concern. When we have a posture picture and we see that, we think, okay, here we go. We've got a little bit of an issue here. We need to fix. But then you look 6 weeks later, spine straight, hips looking better, shoulders looking a lot better. Down in this bottom corner here, we've got a young academy fast bowler. Again, that left hip is up. We've got a little less shape in the spine. Shoulders not great. Again, we're thinking, right, we can't load him at all. We've got to be careful. And also with the bowling coaches, then for them to try and get any new technique into them is going to be very hard. But then again, 6 to 8 weeks later, look at the results. Hip straight, shoulder straight, back straight. Brilliant. We can then load, and we know we're going to do it fairly safely. But this is the stage we can't rush or skip, okay? Get it right, get the foundation set, then we can move on. When the foundation's set, we can start building strength, and with strength, we can come the pace. Also, we significantly reduce the risk of injury. If we try and load those dysfunctions that we've just seen, we are going to make the physio very busy. My job is to make sure the physio is not busy all the time. And like we said, this will help any changes that you need in your action. So your bowling coaches, this is why the physio, the S&C bowling coach need to work so close, so we can cover all bases and the player gets the best results of all. We've got all the full dysfunction protocols, all the programs, everything like that, and loads of videos in our inner circle, which we'll take you through a little bit later. Some of the correction exercises we use. This is a great one. I love this one. Bottoms up kettlebell lunge. So we start from the bottom up with the lunge and with the kettlebell, and it's using that cross pattern to try and keep the lateral cross seam there working. The trunk's got to work really hard to stabilize. So we're using stability and strength to help reprogram the motor patterns. Massive exercise, this one. Massive. Again, in the membership site, we've got a new dysfunction program, and this is one of the key exercises in there. Bear crawls. Absolute one of my favorites again. So if you look here, we've got Ross doing this one. We've got the cone and the ball on his lower back, just as sort of feedback to him. So if he knows if he's shaking left to right, that's going to drop off. So we've got small little steps with the hands and the feet. Let's have a little look at that again. And we don't want the back knee to be past the hip. Okay, so the knee's always just coming forward. And this is an absolutely fantastic exercise again to retrain that whole cross neural pattern. Another beauty here, using the band to activate the trunk, and then we're going into straight leg, single leg lifts. Again, retraining that pattern, reminding the trunk to work and allowing the hip flexors to do their job as well. Now, alongside the sort of dysfunction work, the mobility and stability almost goes hand in hand with it. Again, massively key area. And when we have this right, more pace can come. Okay, and we'll talk about in a sec how this works. It helps you get into the positions. We'll show you a little picture as well, how mobility allows you to get into better positions for bowling and your action. And in one of the Build the Fast Bowler workshops we had one player put on 5 miles an hour just from completing the dysfunction work with the mobility and stability. So before we even touched his action, put on 5 miles an hour. That's how important this stage is. Like we said, help your bowling hugely. So here's some of the standard exercises we use with this. First up is the kneeling thoracic rotation. Huge. Everyone does this pretty much every day with my players. They're all doing it. So we're trying to keep the trunk still and just gain that thoracic mobility. So just remember this for a little bit when we go, but when we show you the picture of the fast bowler in a sec. Hips, hugely important. We get mobility through the hips, hugely. This is a nice, easy little one. Again, you can use in warm-ups. You can see from his face how tough he's finding that. But just bring your arms up and hips going from internal to external rotation. Great little one to use as a loosener and to get that pattern. This is Big Shannon Gabriel when he was with us a couple of years ago. We're doing some banded distraction work for his hip flexor. The band just help pull the femur back into line. So again, we get that whole cross pattern. The hip flexor working as it should. And he was getting some good release on that hip flexor. And then we were doubling that up with some good glute work. And this is Big Shannon again. If you look at the blue band that's around his foot and goes around that top leg, is bringing again that femur down to allow us to get into the hammy a little bit more and get working neurally on him. But again, we just want to be able to get into those patterns. So why do we do all this stuff? Let's have a look at Big Georgie completing his action this year in 2020. That upper back, that thoracic mobility is key. Okay, if we haven't got that, we start getting it from the lumbar, from the lower back, and that's not what we want. So from the lower back, we want stability and then thoracic mobility, and you can see that emphasized massively here. Around the hips mobility, we want the glutes strong, ankle mobility, knee stability, and then we can get through and lessen the chances of injury hugely. So what's the GPP phase, general prep? Like we said, we don't want to spend too long in here. So once dysfunction's done, we can move into this knowing that we're not going to do any harm, we're just going to do good. Lots of tools, but we need to pick the right ones. Huge, this is. So it's not all about just going squat, deadlift, bench. Like we say, cricket's a massively, massively unilateral thing that we do. So there's absolutely no point doing squats, deadlifts, and bench if we're not hitting the unilateral. They've got their place. They've definitely got their place if done right and for the individual, but don't get caught up that it's all about those. Remember what we actually need as fast bowlers. Unilaterally dominant over bilateral every day of the week. You give me one lower body strength exercise that we can do, always for me is going to be a single leg option, such as a Bulgarian split squat, step up, things like that, which we'll see in a little minute. Make sure it's for function, not ego. We're not about going around saying, oh, we're doing 200 kilogram squats, deadlifts, all that sort of stuff. I'd much rather you be able to tell people, no, I actually put on 5 to 10 mile an hour this winter. That's the key thing, okay? So don't get caught up in gym numbers. Obviously, it's nice to be lifting and lifting heavy if we can and everything's set, but don't get caught up into it. And we can spend too long here. Don't spend too long. We need to get this done, tick the box, off we go then into specific strength. But if we just look at some of the exercises we use, this is one of my favorite bilateral ones. The barbell hip thrust, great for your glutes, great carryover. Often use this with a superset. So we do a set of maybe 5 of those and then do a broad jump. Into single leg varieties now. The high box step up, fantastic exercise, lower body strength. Absolutely love this one. Driving that back leg through as well. Make sure we're controlling that ascent back down, the eccentric portion. Couple that with something like this, the single leg box squat, which is fantastic. Once we're getting good at this, we can go into things like pistol squat, but this shows great control at the knee and the hip and that pelvic junction as well with the lower back. If you're crumbling there, we know there's a little bit of an issue. And I always like to start with using a weight as almost a counterweight. And with this one, as you're getting better, you don't need the weight. So it's actually one that you can take the weight away with. For the upper body, this is a great one because it incorporates thoracic mobility as well as strengthening work. And for upper body, I like the pulls a lot, but I like the horizontal pulls rather than the verticals because we get that scapula in a much better position. Okay, when we're doing things like chins, we can come dissociated with the one at the bottom of the chin between the shoulder joint, and that's not what we want. We want to keep it fairly compact. We want the scapula to be working well all the time. So this is a variation of the Bulgarian just here. He's got isometric hold. Isometrics are absolutely huge, and he's just the physio here, Benny. He's just got a band around his knee, pulling him into valgus, and he's having to resist that. So he's not just got the forces going through in the sagittal plane, got transverse as well, working really hard in that glute. Great carryover that one. So now let's get into the trunk. Some of my favourite stuff here with the trunk. We've got the 3 antis, your 3 antis. You've got anti-rotation, okay, massive. Anti-extension, anti-lateral flexion. So the 3 things that happen to the spine during bowling. It goes into rotation, extension, and lateral flexion. These are the things over time that causes the wear and tear and gets the stress fractures. So we need to try and be training the trunk so that they can absorb these forces, keep coming forward rather than go into these positions. And this is like if you think of spaghetti junction, where you've got the middle section, everything going through that one part. If we get this right, the signals can go from the cross seam a lot easier. This is a little beauty, this one. The banded... Oh, let's get it going. Where did it stop in? The banded alphabets, okay? Palaf alphabet. So just a mini band. Normally have it around chest height. And you're just going through the alphabet, A to Z in capitals, then in lowercase, one side, then the other. Very simple. Anyone can do, okay? So if we move on to the next one, we're now going into a dead bug, which is our anti-extension, okay? This is one we use in our dysfunction protocols as well. Again, it's one I'd say to everyone, make sure you're doing some form of this. Hugely important, that contralateral seam movement as well, huge. Get it going. Really big one, that one. And this is the anti-lateral flexion one. Let's have a little look at this, me doing this. Now the key thing here, we've got this log, and if you see the weight is just on one side. So as I lift it, and I'm doing an isometric hold again, that weight one side's trying to take me down into lateral flexion. So the body's got to resist it and actually just stay as neutral as we can. So it's a very, very good one, this one for anti-lateral flexion. Another simple one is just standing neutral, holding one dumbbell, as heavy a dumbbell as you can in one hand, and resisting it again. Boom, you see how red I went in the face there? That is a toughie. So we go on to the special strength. This is Steph's bad boy, this. This is what he's really into, and he's got some amazing new exercise that he's bringing out. He put loads in the inner circle yesterday, and now it's time to get specific. Depending on what training age you are, it's how long you spend in each zone. So like we talk about, if you've already done 2 or 3 good years, you don't have to spend too much time in the GPP. Let's get into special strength. Let's keep getting you quicker. It's where the magic happens. This is where everything we've talked about so far, we sprinkle this on top, and suddenly this is where the pace comes from. And this is where the medi balls and the weighted balls come in, but we got to learn them. We don't want to be giving weighted balls to a young player who's not ready for them. They need to have good scapular control, good trunk control, thoracic mobility, everything going well, and then we can add the weighted balls on top. So just going to show you a little drill we do here. So isometric bench push, so pushing that into the bars above, 10 seconds, maximal push, and then we take the power and then use it with the falling medie ball push. Bang, okay? So we store the power and then we let it rip. Again, the good things with the medie balls, we don't slow down with them. Like bowling, we're always going max flat out. Another one, Steph bought us a banded hip drive. So you just get the band attached, that back knee, working that hip and that back foot pre-turn. So once we get that pre-turn right and that hip coming through, we've got the hip-shoulder separation, which is where a lot of the pace comes from. This is a great, I prefer this to Olympic lifting massively. We're getting that whole hip pre-turn going on, and we're getting triple extension of the jammer, and then we're just going to go into a kneeling, and we can do both knees here. So the other knee can come up, down, kneeling, 1K, bowling, use a 1K ball, a 500 gram ball, whatever you've got. Probably best to start off with 3 to 500 gram ball with that one. And then we can move on. This is another one of Steph's. We'll just have a little listen to Steph talk you through this one.
Okay, so with this progression number 2 drill, it can be used for specific strength, special strength training as well, by just resisting the technique. I'm a big fan of overloading a skill, overloading the technique. I think that's the only way you can progress. So from this second drill, the wall drill, we can overload the movement. So the back hip is resisted and the front arm is resisted because you have to pull it, okay? So position 1, position 2, position 3, position 4, drive through. Very good. Let's go again on that one. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4. Perfect.
Fantastic carryover. Absolutely huge there. So then we move on to some medie ball stuff. This time Steph giving him a little bit of overdrive here. But watch with the medie ball drills. Now, it's hugely important with medie ball drills that you don't get lazy with them and get the lower body mechanics, because every time we want them to be working well. So again, we're getting the pattern ingrained. So he's coming down, landing, pre-turn, brace front leg, and then over that leg. Bang. So lead. Pre-turn, bang. So look at the power as well. He's trying to be quick with it. This is another one Steph got. So he's catching the ball. So sheer power there, okay? Everyone's got to be done with power because we want that in the bowling. So again, you see when he catches it, he's got that hip pre-turn, brace front leg, bang, coming over. And then he's onto the weighted balls again. So he's earned the right to actually get onto the weighted balls, and we're overloading the action. Fantastic. So this is Arnaban, one of our lads who's on the online bespoke program. This is his before picture. Oh, let's go back. 2 secs. So his before picture, then his after picture. Okay, so you can see the difference there. Got brace front leg. He's worked hard. He's worked hard on his initial 4 weeks of dysfunction work, and now he's into the bowling specific, and he's going really well. So when you put the work in, this is sort of results you can get. His bowling's going to be through the roof. So follow the process and the bowling will become faster. Now all our programs that we've done are all on our membership site, the Inner Circle. It's just £10 a month, okay? We've got all our new videos uploaded there. We've got the 4 cornerstones, so every Monday we're bringing a new bit of content, either workout of the month, or we've got a new interview, or we do a question and answer, or a live webinar, and then we're bringing interviews. So the next interview we've got is Ravi Ashwin, which is dropping on next Monday. So if you're keen, jump on over. Let me just show you what it looks like in there. If you can see this. So this is the membership site. Down the left, we've got all your different links, all you need. We've got bowling specific drills, stuff to raise the heart rate, medie ball drills, neck pain. It's all almost in a Netflix style, so it's easily accessible. All the videos, there's absolutely hundreds of videos, different drills. We've got a workout of the months here. So let's have a quick look at those. So we've got a power up pre-bowling session, a full ankle rehab, a fast bowlers recovery, when and what. We did a live Q&A there. Nathan Lyon video. No, two secs. So let me just show you that again. Nathan Lyon video there. We've got a full S-ramp warm-up 40-minute video here for you. Exclusive Mitchell Santner interview. A workout of the month, the dysfunction protocols. We've got everything just here that you need. Okay, so again, just showing you there all the different drills. So that's the medical work. Let's have a look at some of our sprint work. So it all comes up, like we said, so easy. You just go on, see some drills, pick a program, and you're gone. Okay, we're trying to make it as easy as possible. So we've got all the programs at the side there, our OCD, stress fracture, Feel, Move and Play, the speed dim. You can go on, download these anytime. They're always available. And then where the actual magic happens here, we've got our Facebook inner circle, where everything gets uploaded first. We do our weekly check-in to have our goals and things like that. Our members put up videos, and it's a great little asset. Everyone come on here. It's where we can put things first and really interact as quick as we can with you. So for you guys, if you're keen on that, what we're going to do is only £10 a month. The first 10 that sign up will be getting a free weighted ball manual, which is usually 50 quid. So if you want to, you'll be getting an email follow-up, and we'll have that in it, and you'll have the recording of this, everything you need. Come and join us, and we'll have some fun, okay? And we'll get you bowling quick. So if you liked it, get on board, and hopefully we'll see you in there. See you soon.